So happy Friday and welcome to Friday night. I have no idea if you can hear the music. I want to know. I'm gonna have to check. Check it. I'm checking to see if there's any sound. I don't hear it on YouTube. No. Okay. I don't know if you have Messiah. I don't know if you have if you muted yourself. I'm unmuting.
I muted
Okay.
myself.
Okay, I hear you. Could you hear the music? Because I don't think I could hear it through YouTube.
No, I couldn't.
Okay, yeah, they have some way that they block the music if it's I'm not gonna bring it in just because, and I'm giving everybody a chance to. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I just got a text. I want you to stay on. Are you okay? You're just doing audio. I'm trying to figure out if I can move this. Okay, and then we got Carl coming in. I don't know what. Okay, let me bring Carl in. So first, let me say, welcome again. I think I said it, and I thought you could hear the music in the background, but happy Friday, and this is our first Friday night court of public opinion, and we're gonna get into the 2024 Black agenda, and we're gonna talk about ask the question what it is, and that's what I want to so we can start building. And again, I'm trying to figure out what this message here is because I got 10 East. Let me bring Carl in. So I tried to make sure before we have this conversation that we have a nice panel, balanced panel. So I have my son who is 27. And we're gonna have him. We're gonna just I have a few questions that I'm gonna pose, and we're gonna discuss. Nobody's really familiar with the. I was gonna send out, kind of a little program itinerary schedule of what we're going to discuss, but I said no. Let's kind of get without improv, without being able to have a pre-thought of how we're going to do this or what we're going to say. So, and then we have Professor Carl from USC. He's also going to join us on the line. So we have a good nice. We got three good brothers. Malik, attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz will be on the line, and that's our special professional official guest in the field. And so, as I want to talk about again, this is a premiere session that I want to pull together, and I want to do it monthly so that we can be more politically aware, explore options, and actually get into the minds of one another, and not necessarily a group think, but a group think tank where we all have our own individual minds. But of course, there's nothing wrong with being influenced as in a proper way, and that's again, sharp minds should sharpen one another. So, okay, we have brother attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz is in the building now. So I wish that we had a I'm gonna add both to the Professor Brother Carl.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hello, how's everybody? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm here once again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm here. We made it. I talked about, and I'm going to continue to stress. A lot of times it's getting there. Once you in the building, then we're ready to build. Sometimes it's a struggle just getting in the building, right?
Oh yeah, you know that's right.
Okay, I'm gonna bring attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz in so that we can get in here. What happened? Oh, we lost brother Carl. He'll call back. Uh-oh. What happened?
I'm here.
I don't know what happened, but I brought you back in. I don't know your line. Okay. Peace. Oh, we got okay. That's what I was saying. You got your photo. We got attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz in the building. Give thanks. Peace, brother.
Hey now.
Peace. It's an honor to be on with you all.
Okay, and again, this is our official guest coming in to kind of steer us in the right direction. And we have again, and then like I said, an informed panel. We're crossing some generations. So again, we've got my son here. We've got the Professor Carl from USC, and then we've got our esteemed attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. Again, you're muted right now, brother Malik. I kind of wanted you to lead in the questions, so I'm gonna like throw out some questions, pose some kind of I don't know, and I want you to kind of lead in the conversation, and then I'm gonna kind of just. I don't want to be too opinionated here. I want to. I'll get in where I fit in. But so we're talking about again the 2024 Black Agenda, where we stand with, of course, again this voting thing, and what is the 2024 Black Agenda? So I think you're the perfect person to pose that question. What is this agenda?
Well, by definition, the agenda, as you stated, should be a Black agenda.
Right.
And it must be a Black agenda. And the question is this election between Democrat and Republican, Donald Trump and Joe Biden, does it have anything at all to do with a black agenda?
Huh.
And so what I would like to do is maybe give you a couple pointers, couple of my opinions on this election, and then talk about another election that's getting ready to gear up this year, and that's the national plebiscite or ballot for full and complete reparations.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the only true ballot I know that has a true black agenda on it is the national ballot that's about to be launched, where everybody can vote on the reparations and the type of reparations they want. But we'll get back into that. Let's talk about this election here in the United Snakes of America,
Right.
between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. My mentor, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, taught me. He said, Democratic Party or Republican Party. He said, fool, you ain't even invited to the party,
Right.
and it ain't that kind of party.
Yeah.
We have also been taught when it comes to a choice for voters, who will we vote for? Satan or Lucifer, the devil or Beelzebub. Either which way you vote, you gonna lose, or you gonna end up in hell. Now that sounds harsh to many, but let's look at the facts here. Now you got an election here that just on Monday, this past week in the Iowa caucuses, you have a man here that won overwhelmingly for the Republican vote, and he's even leading Joe Biden in national polls. And this is I think it's a six-time indicted on felonies, Donald Trump. I mean, here's a man that's been indicted in Georgia, Washington, D.C., federal indictments, state indictments. I mean, it all would appear that there's no way he can avoid the jailhouse. Yet he is the overwhelming choice of the voters of the Republican Party. I mean, he's absolutely slaughtering his competition. Okay, so that would tell you something about your choices and about America. Well, you say, well, why is it going to go Democrat? Because I can't allow Donald Trump. Well, let's look at the Democratic ticket, the president and the vice president. Let's get the vice president out of the way quickly, because she's the easiest to deal with. We haven't seen her in over 6,000 years. I'm talking about Kamala Harris. We haven't seen Vice President Kamala Harris in 6,000 years. I mean, she's nowhere to be found on key issues that would be a black agenda. Nowhere to be found on the George Floyd Police and Reform Act, battling to get that passed. Nowhere to be found either where she probably needed to be on immigration issues. When old no good buck dancing, bootlicking, reactionary Clarence Thomas, when he crushed affirmative action, she didn't step forward to challenge Clarence Thomas in affirmative action. We haven't even seen her in action, and she ain't got no traction. So we wanted her as my Howard University alumni. We wanted her to do great things, progressive things, but sadly, she has shown that she was just on the ticket so that black folks will blindly vote, and they have done it. She's given nothing back. Now let's go to the leader of the Democratic Party, 192-year-old Joe Biden. He's 192 years old. He's older than most of the prophets in the Bible. He was too old for a Geritol commercial. I mean, even he wouldn't even qualify for Geritol or AAPRP commercials. But sadly, as old as he is, he's wicked as hell. I mean, he is wicked as hell. I mean, how are we going to say, even if you're a Democrat out there, how are you going to say that you are for human rights? You're a Democrat. You're progressive. You are for all the things the Democrats supposed to stand for, multiracial, getting along, and progressive values, and they for everybody, the sweet, the not so sweet, everybody. Here's a president here that just says to hell with all rules of civilization and all rules on human rights, all rules on war crimes. To hell with it. I'm a Zionist. I'm backing the wickedness of the state of Israel and its genocide against the Palestinians. I mean, and he outright to this very second, with men, women, children, and babies being killed outright from a philosophy of Zionism and from the current actions of the Israeli government and his partner, his sponsor, his protector, his the number one imperialist on the face of the planet Earth is Joe Biden, who can be rightfully charged with war crimes, rightfully charged with murder, rightfully charged with shipping arms to just kill off a whole nation of people, based on a philosophy that from the very beginning this was designed to take their land, steal their land, and kill them on their land. So I say all that to say, and I just open up, since you asked me to leave, well, I might as well come out swinging.
Right.
I might as well come out swinging instead of singing. You know, I mean, we have some horrible choices.
Right.
Other than my brother Dr. Cornel West. I mean, he's the only good choice in the race, as far as I'm concerned.
Is he running independent?
He's running as an independent, right. Dr. Cornel West. So
we don't have nobody in the Green Party running this year.
Dr. West was in the Green Party and they split, and I don't know the whole story behind it. So, but he's still my candidate, and he's the candidate that speaks up for truth and
so we're
justice.
gonna talk about that. So definitely we're gonna get back to that one. Okay, all right. You know what? Okay. I didn't know, Professor Carl. I don't know if you have something to say, but I wanted to have my son chime in because he was talking about Biden a little bit earlier, and he was informing me about the 3-strike law and this and that. So I want you to chime in now. So just and then we'll go to Professor Carl, unless you have something pertinent you want to say right now.
I'm good right now. I'm just sitting back chilling right now. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, so right after Messiah, I want you to come in.
I'm here.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. We were just having a short discussion earlier regarding I call him Trumpy, but Trumpy and Biden, and my perspective on it is basically it's trying to choose the less of two evils, which I don't particularly partake in. So, but Biden, well, just overall, Biden seems to be like a covert, like racist, let's say, like one that smiles in your face but hates you behind your back. But specifically, if I'm not mistaken, in California, he was part of the people that were signing off on what we refer to as the 3-strike rule. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but basically the law that put into place that if you do three misdemeanors, for example, you can get put in jail for, it's automatic, I think, felony charge, right? I think it's up to quote unquote.
Yeah.
And now, while I personally don't like Trump, at least he's upfront and honest out loud about his intentions, and expresses what he's going to do, even if I dislike it. But and point with us funding Israel, that's not nothing that was publicized, Well, perhaps he talked about it, but I don't recall seeing or hearing anything about that until we started having our riots, and things of that nature, I suppose. But yeah, that was pretty much my thoughts on that. But I don't particularly think that it's good to blindly vote for, let's say, Biden simply because he's Democratic. Because at the end of the day, it's all it's all pretty much a puppet show. They're two sides of the same coin.
Right. Okay. This is so that the first thing that I wanted to talk about is, okay, I'm gonna say the first two things just so that we can kind of kind of see how it's running and move along. So, and you touched on it, that's why I'm bringing it up. The first one is the right to vote. So we have the right to vote, and we talk a lot about the right to vote. Our ancestors fought for the right to vote. See, we have the right to vote, and in some cases, or not to. And maybe instead of, I was going to talk about switching lanes next, which is, again, when I say switching lanes, like Pop the Clutch, switch lanes, Nipsey, and to switch parties if need be. But you can also, there are alternatives that we'll talk about, and then and voting down ballot. So when I talk about switching lanes, that's what I'm talking about. If you don't necessarily you want to remain a Democrat, you can also vote down ballot. And again, people don't know their options. So I'm going to go get some water, but Messiah, just kind of expand on, because you talked about you don't particularly vote at all, right? You have the right to vote, and you do have the right to not. Where do you stand with that? And then parties, I don't know, like if you're not really dealing with either or party, we can talk about how Brother Malik talk about alternative parties, independent parties, the Green Party, this and that. But yeah, so the right to vote, not to, switching lanes, voting down ballot. Oh, do you know anything about it? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about being able to express your right to not vote, if that's what you choose? I'm gonna mute myself and then grab some water.
So basically, well, I guess since high school, really, I only seen the registrations or the voting for each party. Like the main candidate, anyways, is more of like a popularity contest, and that's kind of what it seemed like. And I do know that there's other parties, like the Green Party or independents, but just I know on an individual perspective, I wouldn't my individual vote wouldn't mean too much. But if a bunch of people feel that way, then no one gets voted in. But I personally don't have too much information on the independent party or on the like the Green representatives. So I don't like or want to vote blindly. And like even the last couple of elections that we had, there was no one that I particularly cared too much for, even reading into them or their perspectives of what they wanted to do. There's nothing that really stood out to make me feel that I needed to go out and vote. And then whenever it came to, I guess, interpersonal relationships or talking to strangers, it always came down. It just ends up in arguments, more like a cult per se. And I don't care too much for either side to argue too much about it, But it does seem, whenever I express that, I usually do not vote. It feels, I guess some people see it as me not taking my liberties or using my liberties that I've received. But just from my perspective, the main candidates for the last two elections I've been old enough to vote for, the popular people didn't stand out to me, and I didn't have too much information or reference for anyone that was less popular.
Okay, Brother Carl.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the right to vote or not to, switching lanes, switching parties, voting down ballot. Where do you stand in all of this?
Well, first of all, family, it's crazy. I mean, when we're talking about that politicians and all that stuff like that's really, really crazy, you guys. But as far as voting and stuff like that, I really do think that it's your right to do what you want. And I know our ancestors have fought for us to have that right. And so I feel personally, if somebody doesn't like something, then hey, they can try it. But as a person that has been voting for a lot of years now, it's just been unfair, you know, with the choices that we've had to go either side, you know, bad or good or whoever. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, I know we had presidents that were good, okay, but right now it's sad to see, you know, even as us of color here, it's just sad to see what the choices that we have and why we cannot produce someone that can come up and challenge this stuff. Is it always about money in order to become a president? Just a question, because you know, we know we got people of color that can probably do better jobs. We know that. We had Obama, we had Michelle, you know what I mean? So I mean, why do we have this choice that we got right now? It's just me particularly thinking, I'm thinking like Malik there, you know, I mean, hey, well, why should I vote if we don't have nothing to vote and look forward to? Okay, I'm like my brother over there on the other end over there, you know, and just saying that, I mean, um, where's our choices? I thought that if this is supposed to be the highest, what would you call it, the highest position in the land, why we don't have a lot more people of color, or maybe not just color, but of more choices, is what I'm saying. Because right now we done seen what Trump can do. I ain't gonna talk bad about neither one of them. What I'm just gonna say is that, hey, where's our choices at? Because we already know that, hey, we got when we talk about the first lady over there, you know good and well they gonna make sure that Biden stays alive. I don't care what happens, because they sure not gonna give it to her, because you like you said, she's been out of the picture. You know, I don't know if they cloning people or not, but she's been out of the picture. So what is she doing? You know, what is she doing?
Like, where is Kamala?
So we think about it. Is Biden, is he gonna live long enough to finish out his term? Well, we already know. We don't know that, but the bottom line is now, even if he did, and you gonna tell me he gets a choice to run again? And now we're looking at Trump over there, and we're looking at him, and he's not setting the best example for nothing. I'm with you guys. Hey, he's real about what he says, and he don't give a damn who he steps on. He's a businessman. He don't care nothing about that. But the bottom line is, what are our real choices? Who's going to help us? That's all I'm saying. Which one is going to help us the most?
So what? Okay. When we talk about people being switching lanes, or you know, maybe
Switching
going
party?
from being a Democrat to being not necessarily Republican, but maybe an independent party.
Well,
where do you stand with that? And then what about down ballot? As far as, you know, these other people are important. It's probably just as important, if not more important. Your governors, your city council folk, so voting down ballot, getting the right people in office at a more local. How do you feel about making sure that you know, for those who say, like, again, like, I vote.
Right.
But this year I don't know what to do, because and I don't know. That's what, when it comes to being more informed, that's where I would say, if you vote, you want to vote, and you want to exercise your right to vote, you should be more engaged in your local politics, if not because again, we all go do this 4-year thing and act like, you know, every 4 years we're talking about but you have other people right next door, okay, who you need to make sure that, because Kamala, however you pronounce her name, I was talking to my son, you know, I didn't know much. Again, I didn't study. Just like Obama, I didn't study when, you know, the first go round, and I was all, you know, I was about to register, and then the second go round, I after knowing and studying and seeing how he moves for real. But with Kamala, she was up north, in her position, you know, doing the you know, having parents responsible and legally responsible and criminally charged with their children being truant. So, and again, she knows where these children who are truant are coming from. They're not coming, you know, again, and that's our ignorance. Again, that was my ignorance. You know, just a black woman. It's not about, just a black face. It's about a black mind and a black agenda. Somebody who was ready to forward this reparations and full and complete repair. You know, uncovering our true ancestry and our full ancestry, all of these things, and fixing these curriculums. You know, you got to get when we talk about curriculums, education, when we talk about these you know, immigrants and, you know, illegal or not coming in, and they're being taught a curriculum that has for generations been taught to put us on the bottom and be in a classroom where our children are made to be uncomfortable in a classroom.
Very
with,
true.
with tainted the history that is not a full one. You know what I mean? It's not a full history whatsoever, and we're being discriminated and harassed from you know, elementary on up. So we have to address some local politics, the Board of Education, and these things, and that's why I'm talking about down ballot. So,
well,
and I'm saying that also because my son, you know, he's of age now where I don't want him to grow up and be like me. Like, I've never thought that it was, especially as a mother with a son and you know, children. You're not gonna draft my kid because I want to exercise my right to vote for nobody. You know what I mean?
right.
But now this generation, we're hoping again that we can push them, and like, you know, like you said, where are the choices? Well, we need to be creating the choices. We need to be giving birth to. We need to be, you know, if we are going to in fact stay here in America, and then, you know,
that is very
we'll
true.
talk about that later.
You know, I mean, it's just that, you know, just like you're saying, we were not informed on a whole lot of things, and it's been done on purpose to us either way to go. But you know, there's a lot of things that, hey, we wasn't exposed to. We need to educate ourselves a little bit on a lot of crazy things. And me personally being an educator, I mean, you know, I see where a lot of things has been left out. Okay, you know, is it like, I'll just give one example. Being in the highest school of education, whatever you want to look at it, where do they teach you about money? Okay, so all I'm saying is that let's think about it. You know, the average person don't know how money works or how interest and, you know, crazy things. So I'm not trying to go through all that. I'm just saying that this is something that I even found out myself by being a professor down there. These necessary classes that, hey, we need. Where is it at? Okay, and now that we talking about your son, they're our future. Okay.
Right.
They're our future. They should not be left out on information that, hey, we were left out on. I understand there's you know, this internet and all that other stuff. They sprawl that way. That I ain't gonna go there with that, but they are. But I'm just saying, let's just think about it. That change in lanes and different things like that, that is a choice that I think that, hey, anyone should be able to do. We were raised, most of us were raised what, as Democrats. Okay.
Right.
But the bottom line is that, was that your choice, or was that pops and mom's choice?
Right.
What information is giving it to you? You nowadays, you just can't vote because, hey, you know, your family say so. It depends on what you believe in. So switching lanes, if we want to go independent, hey, why not go independent? I think right now we need to do some independent stuff around here.
Right.
You know, because, hey, if we
Okay.
got the best candidate that is independent, then, hey, why are we not doing that? Why are we not shifting that? But I understand when it comes down to not wanting to vote and different things, because you're not getting information on who the hell they are. So that's all I'm gonna say right now on that.
Okay, Brother Malik.
Yes.
Okay, so just following up with that, so we talked about, you know, the right to vote, not to vote. You touched on a few things. I would like to inform our listeners. Can you talk about, you know, just the different parties? When we talk about party loyalty versus loyal to your country, and when you talk about being loyal to the country, local politics, talk about down ballot, just all of these things, these options as far as when you want to be politically involved and you need to be informed.
All right. Thank you so much. I think the real option, the first option that we must understand here is that this is an option between the politics of white America, which we are trapped in, or what's called colonial politics, and a choice between either the politics of white America, colonial politics, or the politics of independence. I must say here to everyone that's listening that every black man and woman in America, under the sound of my voice, has a duty to be politically active. Now, I'm a firm believer that we should not be politically apathetic, but we must be politically active. The question is, how must we be politically active, and whether or not you have to vote in these elections to be considered politically active. And if you vote in them, where should you vote and how should you vote? And what is your interest? You're talking about the down ballot and so forth. So I just want to say right off the bat that we must be politically active. And many times, sometimes I have voted for the national election a few times. I've voted more times in the elections in general. And sometimes, like the brothers here who are on this call, I say ain't nobody here worth voting for. I'm not wasting my time on this ballot, but I'm finna be politically active, fighting the causes which are important to black people.
Right.
Well, what are our causes that we would go to the ballot box for? What are our interests? I would venture to say that our interests are the economy, economy and employment for our people. That our issues are either violence or black family issues pertaining to our youth. That our issues are gentrification. Our issues are police brutality. Our issues are health issues, and there are other issues. These are what we call the black interest, things that we're interested in. Okay, so when we go, so I do encourage looking at the ballot scientifically, even if you don't like who's at the top, or like, for example, this year, like this would not be a year where I would vote for president if it was not for Brother Cornel West. I don't care whether they say Cornel West can win or he can't win. I'm voting for the man that speaks to my agenda and represents me and don't give a damn. And that's Brother Dr. Cornel West. I'm not going to be voting for no lesser of two evils or some POLITRIKKKS just because if my ancestors died for the right to vote, well, then I'm exercising my right. Because they act like you got a choice here, but you ain't really got no damn choice here.
Nope.
You got two well-funded parties that if you don't get on the Democratic ticket or the Republican ticket and get some big money behind you, ain't no democracy at all. Ain't no free choice at all. You can't even come in the damn room unless you backed by a damn two-party monopoly, is what I call it. So you get in the voting booth like I would do here in Washington, D.C. And so I would look around and then I would say, well, I do believe that when you look at the issues of gentrification, I missed one issue. That's criminal justice issues and how issues that are turned into crime and punishment also. And so I would look carefully at the ballot for city council to see which candidate would really make a difference on that city council with certain laws that pertain to those issues that I discussed. So I do believe in voting down, what you say, down on the ballot. I do believe that when it comes to issues such as property tax and how they're handling issues of gentrification and affordable housing, that you should try to not only just cast a ballot, you should try to, if you can, shape that ballot in your own interest. These are important issues, you know. But unfortunately, even on the down ballot, you can find some pretty sorry and lame candidates on the damn down ballot. But that hasn't always been the case in Washington, D.C. Just to conclude, Khalid Muhammad taught me that that what we call colonial politics or these politics in America could bring us, under the best of circumstances, limited and short-range gains. We had a mayor here in Washington, D.C. He stood up for the poor. He was a champion for the poor. His name was Marion Barry. he achieved some limited and short range gains for black people. But we really didn't have independence or self-determination or real black power. And so these gains were temporary. As soon as he was out of office, now the city is being invaded by whites, and Chocolate City is no more, and it's a whole host of issues. So to conclude, it's a political science in voting. This is part of the science, this analysis that I'm giving, and I still conclude to say that we should try to be concerned about the neighborhoods that we're in and fight for gentrification. And if that includes voting for a candidate that's strong, then by all means do it. If you got somebody strong on what they call in these ANC or other areas and in other states you're talking about, I don't know too many strong governor candidates, but however it is, if you got a strong candidate, a black candidate, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, then go for that candidate. But don't be confused that you're doing something revolutionary, and this is the white man's system. And so there is another choice to end. There is another choice between just exercising our political will in this system. There's another choice where we can exercise stronger influence over the black economy, stronger influence over the issues in the black family, crime and justice, and all the issues that face us. And that requires strong political participation, strong political will. And to me, just to me, that's the fight and the effort and the vote for reparations and self-determination. That's where I see the most political promise.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that.
Did either one of you, Messiah or Brother Carl, want to add on to that portion?
Well, I can't add on to that. That's kind of a hard act to follow, my brother, on the real, because everything you said is true. So that's very hard to follow. I mean, we feel the same way on a lot of issues. And these are things that, hey, we got to figure out. We got to go to find those local candidates or whatever it is that, hey, that's going to support our areas and take care of us. I heard a couple of different issues, especially about the jail systems and the 3 strikes and stuff like that. That's some serious stuff. I mean, because, personally, I know of people that affected and never really did nothing really stupid, but those are issues that really need to be looked at. And, how, I don't know. I just can't beat what you said, my brother. Okay.
So which candidate, anybody, this is for any of the 3 of you, which party do you think, or actually, let me just go around. Just if you had to choose one or the other, which party do you think would sign off on a reparations agenda, or not a discussion of reparations, but actually giving reparations? Which party do you? Let's start with my son. So, which party do you think would be, if you had to choose one? You had to choose one. Which party do you think would actually grant reparations to Black Native Americans, not Black people in America, but the people, ancestors of who picked cotton? To be clear.
If I am thinking, let's pull Black people out of it, because we don't take too much of the votes, right? If I was just thinking of all the white people on both parties, I probably would think the Republican side, considering that on the Democratic side, it wouldn't be everyone getting anything really. Because generally what I see on the Democratic side is it seems more like a socialist type of mindset. So everybody gets a little something. So it wouldn't be specific to a group. Now, as far as the Republicans, this is just a basic thing, not individual. So if I'm just looking at the broad scope, you can probably convince them as to why you know, why just a specific group of people would need that. Because you can kind of already see that in other aspects, like grants that's given to Native Americans to go to school, etc. So I feel like the Republican side can be convinced rather than
Okay, you know you are. Okay, and that was really good. That was good. So I don't want you to have to. Okay, now look, we'll go to Brother Carl next.
That's interesting. Listen, as a person that has been voting Democrat for all these years, and like I said, being brainwashed with that right there. Which party? So now we're talking about the Republican or Democrat. Well,
yeah, the two big parties.
So now
you forced to vote for one of them. So which
right.
one is going to get reparations?
So now we're talking about the Republican Party, which we know Trump, the Trumpet, or whatever y'all want to call him, is definitely running that. There's no question about that. Okay, it's his party. You know, it's nothing else to say because. But so now you look at that. He teased at people years ago when especially, you know, when he was able to drop money in people's pocket, a couple little carrots here and there in people's pocket, you know, just to keep us satisfied for a minute, which it didn't do a whole lot. But I'm just saying that at least he showed that effort that he probably would do it. I don't personally see that him even doing it. I see nothing but a devil right there as far as that. But what I'm just saying is that I don't know, but if you had to pick on just what you telling me right now, I guess I'd have to go with the devil. Is all I'm saying is because at least he done teased us already, right? I can't go with Byron because hey, what the hell he did? He took the sister and just put her up under the wing, and what the hell is she doing? What are they doing? I don't see nothing. I ain't got nothing in my pockets. So y'all gave me a hard choice to flip on that. So now I'd have to switch it around, or if I got that choice of independent, then that's where I would go right now, because I wouldn't want to really even deal with this right at this moment.
Right. Okay. That's good enough. Thank you. Okay. Now, Brother Malik, you have to choose which party is giving reparations.
Only party that's on the record supporting reparations, I think, is Green Party.
No, but I'm saying you don't have. That's not your choice. You have to choose the Republican or Democrats.
How you gonna limit my choice? Neither party then have to be neither, because neither party has formally accepted reparations. Neither party accepts reparations. Neither party has endorsed reparations.
True.
HR 40, just the bill to study reparations, has never passed a Democratic-controlled Congress, and even right now, President Biden could just override Congress and create what they call a Federal Reparations Commission. That's what the some of the reparations groups are organizing.
Let me just
Democrats have had and still do have a clear chance to support reparations, and Joe Biden himself has spoken out against reparations. And so, and Donald Trump, I mean, and this guy's leading a whole movement that basically saying that the white man used to be in charge in America, but he's not. And so let's make America great and get the white man firmly back in charge again. That's what his movement is about. Make America great and get the white man firmly back in charge.
Yeah.
It's all crazy as hell, man. It's crazy.
I wanted to just chime in because we have somebody listening, and they said it seems that it's Roddy 25. So thanks for listening, and he's contributing. That I'm thinking he's saying the Democrat. He's talking about. It seems that Ta-Nehisi Coates, I want to say his name correctly. That's the one who wrote the book, the reparations, or the letter. I mean, or the essay, who is being built up as the face of reparations. He's a Democrat, and again, I don't think he's really being built up as the face of reparations. He just did that. He wrote that essay in the middle of when it got hot. He's a brother, yeah, he's a brother, and he is a Democrat. He is, and I've heard him on panels. I would say, the only thing I'm gonna say about that and the Democratic Party and what they're doing, and again, the Democrats are good for fluffing, as my son said, they're good for fluffing. But they've been talking about this reparations, you know, and then what's this the Jamaican sister councilwoman, or I don't know what, I forgot her position, but Lee, what's her name? What's her full
You
name?
talking about Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas?
Sheila Jackson Lee, Congresswoman, and she's no longer the Congresswoman, right? I think she got voted out. But she's still, I mean, it was passed down to her. So she was supposed to be the so-called face. And I found that to be kind of weird. Again, I just find when Democrats do stuff, it's sneaky, because you always have, I'm not saying anything about every face of reparations that they put is never a Black Native face. And I find that to be strange. That's all I'm saying. Like, well, she's Jamaican, so she's not getting any reparations. So of course she's not gonna go hard in the paint. That's just my opinion. I don't know. He's a brother, Ta-Nehisi, but he's doing work overseas now, and they're giving him book rights to write all kinds of books that have nothing. So they kind of, to me, they patted his pockets, and yeah, he talked about reparations when it was hot, but who's pushing reparations through the door? And I'm not expecting, it's our job as a people, as a collective. There's no way that one man, we already learned that this one man doing it, that's we don't need martyrs. They can't murder us all. Okay, we all have to. But I would say, if I had to choose the party, I would say the Republican Party can be pressed. I would say the Democratic Party will play with us. They'll play. The Republican Party don't really come to play. It's like yes or no. So we can press them for a yes. That's just my opinion. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about before we go all the way into reparations, and with the reparations report, I want Brother Malik to just dive into the ballot that he was talking about. That's how I want to end the show, talking about reparations and the reparations report. But the border crises, because again, this border crises was specifically, and this is why we have a lot of people switching lanes. Because folks, we got Democrats, and I'm talking about everybody. We got Democrats very, very angry right now because of the border crises. And the only reason why they are thinking about a Trump right now is because Trump is willing to secure these borders, and he's willing to take the hit for it. You know what I mean? Like, he's willing to be called all kinds of stuff, but he's going to secure these borders. Okay. So let's start with Brother Malik. What's going on again? You over there in DC, so you even closer to how it is going down. They got it more regulated over here in California because we have our own border crises. So the Ukrainian folk and the those Russians, Ukrainians, and Chinamen are not coming in droves and expecting the benefits as like over there on the East Coast. So what's going on over there? What's going on with that border crises and those people migrating to the sanctuary cities?
I'm not really a sanctuary specialist, and I would like to hear others on that. I like to hear my brothers on that. I can tell you that I know that it's a lot of what they call migrants have been coming to New York and Chicago. And I know that there's been a lot of debate and a lot of back and forth over whether they should be welcome or whether they're taking resources or jobs from Black people or I'm not really a specialist on that. I just know that it's happened. The main cities I see it happening in is New York, and I don't really see it happening in Washington, D.C. So I'd like to hear the rest of y'all on that.
I can speak up.
Yes.
So I just want to talk about New Mexico a little bit. That's where I'm at currently. Given the name, you would expect that there's a lot of push for, immigrant Mexicans here, right? But apparently, for roughly 20 years, we have an area over here that used to be called the war zone. This is where that's what the governor named it on the map. But they called it war zone because they allowed people that were refugees to all come in this area. This is Asians, Africans, Middle Easterns, everyone. And they called it war zones because they came from countries that had war going on. But it was also a war zone like in that block. Right now they changed the name to International District, but that's where all the prevalent crimes are happening, essentially. So it seems like they allow a lot of people to come to these states and the quote unquote sanctuary cities, but there's not a lot of regulation on what they're doing or like or regulating how much crime is going on, making sure they're even set up with jobs or anything really. They will come. They essentially will sometimes get like housing assistance, financial assistance, etc., just to have somewhere, I guess, safe to be. But they're not checking pretty much on to integrate them into the population properly. But that's basically what I can see out here. I haven't seen it too much in other states outside of the news and stuff like Texas, and I think it was a lot of Hispanic folks, but there's also Haitians, I believe, coming in droves from the Texas border. And then I guess Biden passed, basically Biden and his party passed. I think the emergency law or whatever to allow them to come in. I don't have too much information on that. Outside of there's issues regarding that down in Texas, but that's all.
Okay. Brother Carl.
Wow.
How do you feel about this border crisis?
Well, the bad thing that I got about it is that they seem to get more help than us that been here all our lives.
Right.
And I don't see how that plays fair. I mean, it's okay, I guess, to help people or something like that, but I don't know how it feels to dump a lot of people off. But we here in Los Angeles or California, and seeing all kind of crazy stuff happen. But I mean, why is it that, hey, someone that was born here and can't even get a decent loan? Why a person can't get here? Why we can't get the houses like that? What do we got to I don't know what, go to jail for somebody to recognize that, hey, we need help? I mean, I'm just saying, because although they may be here from some other location or wherever the case may be, why is it that these immigrants or whatever can come up with stuff more quicker than us? They give them about a 5-7 year loan on certain stuff that, hey, we can't even get a 60-day loan. So
Right.
I have problems with that, because yes, I think it takes from the city, the people that live in the cities and stuff like that, that's trying to work hard, and then all of a sudden you dump all this up there. Now we got to worry about our kids going to school because they're staying outside, they ain't living places, but now you're giving them everything. So I don't know. I'm mixed feelings on all that crazy stuff, but I don't feel it's right for natives here that can't receive anything.
Right. So I'm gonna give my spiel, and I'm gonna make it quick because you said it, and I'm so glad you said it before I said it. I feel, and again, we only bringing this up because we have to number one, we're going to segue into reparations for Black folks, but it is a problem when you're giving free medical, free housing, free food, free this, free that, free this, free that, and there are American citizens homeless on the street who can't get it. It's a problem when you have what do you call it, shelters for Americans, and they're cycled in and cycled out in a 30, 60, 90-day. But if you are a refugee, these Americans are seeing that the refugees are not being cycled out like that, or they're being cycled out with a voucher. Okay, a voucher to purchase a home once they get their citizenship. Okay, so again, this is a problem because you don't have American citizens getting vouchers to purchase homes from being homeless, whatever, but you get people coming from the Ukraine, Russia, wherever they're coming from. And I'm going to even back it up, and then I'm going to stop. It is a problem to me, especially right now when we're voting right now, that these people from Russia, China, the Ukraine are getting all of these liberties and you know, entitlements that should be given to Americans. And we have we're not able to again, we're not able to house our own people. I lost my train of thought just because something else was going on, but we're not able to take care of our own people. Okay, but they're able to come and get houses and funding, and okay, this is what I was saying, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. I got a problem that Central Americans, specifically Mexicans, they get work visas, they get, you know, whatever they're gonna get, okay, to come over here and be laborers, okay, for whatever reason, okay, whatever. But they don't get a pathway to American citizenship like the Ukrainians and the people coming from China and the people coming from Russia. And I just learned that because I'm over here in a suburb, and it's not a black suburb, it's a very white Republican suburb. So I'm seeing people coming in from the Ukraine, okay, and I'm seeing them coming in from Russia, okay, as refugees and whatever they are, and they are getting Social Security numbers. Again, our American brothers and sisters, and when I say our American brothers and sisters, I stand firm on that, okay? These are South and Central Americans have never been given that pathway. So why in the heck are they getting it? And if you can set up a pathway that quick for them, but you must have did it several times, you ain't just set it up. It must have been for the Japanese, must have been for the Jews. Okay, now you set it up for the Ukrainians and whoever. And again, of course, let's not forget the Middle Easterns, because they do have a situation where they had the Middle Easterns coming, and again, moving in top suburbs and giving them all kinds of entitlements and Social Security numbers. That means citizenship, my niggas. Okay, so how can a Mexican come here from Mexico, be here for 20 years, get deported after they, you know, let them work here, whatever, fuel the economy, and never be offered any kind of pathway to citizenship? But somebody from the Ukraine can? Okay, that's a problem. And if they can create those programs for those people, reparations is not an issue. I don't give a damn which party it is. Okay, that's all I got to say about the border crises. We're segueing into the reparations report. Let me see if, how do you feel? I thought I saw something. Okay, I'm in DC suburbs, and what I have been seeing on the ground in this area is an influx of foreigners with signs at intersections asking for money. Oh wow, they have. Okay, so he's saying that they're at the intersections, and they probably go back. I wonder if they're going back to a hotel, because what I heard is it makes me wonder what's really the deal, because they have well-written out signs, yet they can't speak English. Exactly. There is something going on. And again, if they can come up with, they can get busloads, bring them in from Texas, take them to 5-star hotels in New York to stay. You know, I've never heard that but what are they doing to the Central Americans, Mexican Americans, Cubans, and whoever? They're not doing that. They're making them stay in those bunkers, shelters, whatever, and they're processing them in and out of these places just like they're processing any other homeless person. These people have ongoing stays at shelters until they're given something to buy something. Okay, so anyway, I said I wasn't gonna run on with it. Reparations. If you could support the immigrants and foreign, refugees, what about the 500-year-old refugee, sovereign, Black native, all kinds of blood run through the veins of the people who picked this cotton here? Where's our reparations? Okay. Brother Malik, I know I got a little loud, but I just want to bring it down.
All right, let me just drop something in here real quick. I appreciate everybody, and so I accept what everybody has said, and it's very important what everybody said on the subject of the border crisis. I just want to add one thing to it, and that I think we should always understand that starting with at least 500 years ago, when European settlers and the Spanish, the French, and the British, when the white man came to the Western Hemisphere, he did a lot of damage to the whole hemisphere, not just blacks who were brought here to America, but also the natives, our native, what they call Indian sisters and brothers, and out of them evolved, out of the miscegenation of them evolves the people we call, Mexicans and Guatemalans and all throughout the South Americas. So I just want us to always understand that, I just want to add to it and say that if you look at the wealth of white America, and if you look at what they have stolen and robbed the original people in the whole hemisphere for 500 years, and how France and England, and they carted off all the gold and everything, enslaved everybody, and basically set it up where the white man is on top. And then you get here in America and you just see trillionaires and billionaires. So just one factor I just think we should take into account is there's a vast wealth disparity that was created by white capitalism, white slavery, white colonialism, that put the natives, the blacks, and the brown, everybody at the bottom. And now they got us fighting and scrapping over some resources. So everything that everybody said is valid. I mean, we've been here for 400 years, black people right here. We deserve ours, but we also should understand that there's a hidden hand that set all of this inequality up and impoverished everybody, and that's the that's people here that's out here in America, individuals making 1 billion. I mean, how the hell can any person, regardless to race, but it's mostly white, but how can any person just make 2 billion, and you got teachers that's barely making 40,000 in certain cities in America? So I just want to drop that in there. Yeah. So we just look at that from another perspective, add on to that discussion. Reparations, what I want to quickly say is that there is a ballot. There is a ballot that we're going to hear a lot about this year, and there's a national vote on reparations. There's a referendum, or what's called a plebiscite, that is being circulated and starting in Black History Month. And I believe ultimately it's going to involve up to 100 or 200 Black organizations that are going to be gathering a referendum or a vote on reparations and our national destiny as a people. Well, you called it earlier the Black agenda. And so this vote is a ballot. It has about 7 questions, and it's a vote that's going to be put to only us, only Blacks here that were descendants of slaves in America, or were already here as indigenous people and came and were colonized by whites in America. And so this ballot, let me just show you what's on this ballot, because y'all gonna like this. This is better than the one we voting on. And this ballot is it's expected to gather at least 1 million or more of our Blacks to vote on these questions. Number one, I'm just paraphrasing. It's not exact, but these are the questions. Number one is, do you demand full and complete reparations? Yes or no? That's the first question on the ballot. And we asked the question because really nobody has ever formally asked or got consent. And so all of the experts in human rights and the experts from the international courts, the United Nations, and all of the other reparations groups agree that we've never had a vote, never had what they call a plebiscite or a referendum. So this is what we're doing here. That's point number one. Do you demand full and complete reparations? This is going around by text and so forth, online. Number two is, do you agree? Hold on. Do you agree to exercise your right to full and complete self-determination? And do you agree that you desire to govern yourself and control over your own affairs? Yes or no? Basic self-determination. Third question is on identity. It's on identity. We're talking about lawful identity. You know, there's a lot of debates in the Black community about, or all circles about what name we are. You got Blacks and arguing with Moors, who are arguing with the indigenous, who are arguing with this. And so third question is on identity. And it basically explains to us that legally, in terms of being recognized by the United Nations and other countries, those that were brought into slavery here in America and have labored here since 1555 and before, that we are lawfully called Afro descendants of Africa who have been victimized by chattel slavery and who have suffered human rights abuses. And basically, ballot question number 3 is asking us, would we like to proceed under the lawful identity of Afro descendant, which is secondary or does not replace whatever you say you are right now. Black man, Moor, Muslim, all of that. You keep all of that. I'm not trying to get real technical with y'all. I'm just saying what's on the ballot. This is a serious piece here by all of the major reparations leaders. This has been negotiated for some months in the back rooms, and this is a ballot designed to also go along with this American ballot. We do have another choice. All right. So the fourth question is, and maybe we could talk about this, because that's all I need to go through here. The fourth question is, what form of self-determination do you desire? Do you desire to remain American citizen with protected status? Do you desire to return to Africa? Do you desire to immigrate to a foreign country? Or do you desire a separate land or territory here inside of the United States? And there's another fifth option there. Do you desire to build a separate nation on another territory? Talking about somewhere else other than Africa. It gives those choices for you to rank in order of preference. You know, 1, 2, A, B, C, your order of preference. And the other fifth question, and that'll be it for right now, is that your status. Do you desire to remain in a minority status? Do you desire to declare your indigenous status, or do you desire to declare your status as a freedman? Okay. And
can you kind of tell the difference between? Because I don't.
Yeah, all right, but we ain't trying to get real fancy with it, but trust me, this is a well thought out vote that's designed to get our consent as a people to exactly where we want to go and where we want to be, and we're going to use, and that vote is going to be used to help us get reparations. Now, you said what was your question?
What just you were saying that I wanted to know the difference between identifying as you said not a minority but indigenous or freedman. What's the difference between indigenous, and freedmen.
Okay, well, the minority status is what has us in this trap right now.
Right.
Okay, according to all of the human rights experts and how we're classified either in American jurisprudence or international law. So, but you have to give the people a choice. And so if they want to opt out of minority status, there's also a indigenous status. There's a lot of our sisters and brothers here who correctly argued that we came before Columbus and that yes, we were brought here through the transatlantic slave trade, of course, a triangular slave trade, of course, but also that a lot of what we call Indians that originally there, we're their descendants also, and we are the original people. And there are certain rights, there are certain treaties, there are certain benefits and privileges that even though that are due to the native population, that are also due to us.
Right.
And that we should take advantage of these treaties and these laws, and that we have to because it's in our lineage, it's in our birthright, you know. And so that's indigenous status. And then you have freedmen, which is basically saying that at the founding of this country in 1776, that we are what they call foundational Black Americans, and that status is a status that should be recognized by this government and get us certain that should get us reparations, get us a certain bills and legislation that get us our reparations, get us our checks right away. I mean, that's what's on this ballot. I'm not quoting it exactly, but I do have a number that you can, a phone number to give out, that if you text reparations to, then you can have access to the ballot.
Can you give that to us? I'm gonna actually
Yeah.
put it over here in the chat so that or whatever the comments,
Yeah.
so that it can be there.
And I'm gonna try to put the ballot in myself now that you got me going. I thank y'all for taking time to listen to this. That number is 877-506-2184. 877-506-2184. I'm gonna go right here to my Facebook, and I'm gonna copy the link to the ballot, and I'm gonna put it in the chat room. It only takes 2 minutes to vote, and if y'all would vote, man, I would be so honored. And if you would share this vote with others, your friends and family, then I would even be more than honored, because this to me is can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, to me, this vote here is as important as the presidential vote. This vote we gather. Pardon me, that we're gathering for over 1 million of our people, and really gathering them into, you know, a movement to get us. Hold 1 second. I'm sorry, my phone is ringing, and I'm trying to put the ballot into the chat room, and I am. Okay, I'm back. I'm going in the chat room. Join the chat. I don't think I can. Let me see. Chat with everybody, and I'm pasting the link. There's that vote. It's right there in the link, man. Yeah, that's all I got to say. If y'all could just at some point look at that vote and cast that vote and pass along that vote, the whole reparations movement will be very happy, because we trying to get Black folks out of this condition. I love y'all. I'm gonna listen, but I gotta run. I can't come back and talk, but I'm gonna listen to the show, and to Messiah and everybody else on the line. Honors.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, my brother. Be safe.
All right, love y'all, man. All right.
Love you
All right,
too.
peace and Black power.
Black power. And divine love up in here. Messiah?
Yes, I'm
You're
here.
muted. Okay. I know you knew you were muted. Okay. Okay, so as far as reparations, do you all have anything to say? Any questions? Because I kind of just wanted him to give the reparations report, and then we're gonna close out. So we're doing really good timing. But
I'm
any
good on this
questions,
end.
comments?
No, I'm good on this end, and hey, I learned a lot myself. So thank everybody.
And thank you so much for coming through and joining in and having this conversation. It's really important that we're starting up now. We got a whole year pretty much, or whatever, how many months, year plus to, like I said, get folks informed. Y'all gotta get informed and stay informed, right?
Right. That's right. Okay, so you closing it out?
Messiah, do you have anything you want to add on?
No. Other than it's a good show and informative for me too.
Okay, and thank you so much for coming through, son. Your energy and presence, much needed, much appreciated. And again, thank everyone who is listening, who will listen, watch. Again, we're just striving to gather and have our people informed and empowered to, just get out there and get involved politically and make sure that your voice is heard, your thoughts matter. Again, anybody who wants to join in, we'll make sure next time that we put the link in. It's probably going to be monthly. We're not going to be doing this again. The main point is to come together, talk about, and inform one another, and then get involved, get out there, get in the field. So when I come back, when we all forward, we got new information, more information, right? Thank you again, son. Thank everyone again out there, and I'm going to sign off. It's been grand. Wait a minute. Before I sign off, I didn't bring my gavel. Before I sign off, Friday night court of public opinion. Court is adjourned, right? Show adjourned. Court adjourned.